Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about something very, very important. It's time to take your money out of the bank and fast. Now, I've talked about this before, and some of you are paying attention. I don't mean just take it out and just let it sit around, okay? The financial system is falling apart right before our eyes. All of this is unraveling. Not just the financial system, but the system, period, is falling apart. And this is the time right now to make some moves. It's time to make moves in the right direction. Now, a lot of people have gotten used to just having wasteful spending over the years, just buying this and buying that, frivolous spending for things that they really don't need. It's time to knuckle down. I think a lot of you already know this, but there are some people who are still out here just doing things. I know this for a fact. I know people who are still blowing money, okay? Blowing money. This is not the time to blow money, right? If you have any amount of money in the bank, it's time to get your money out of the bank now, because when the system crashes, it's going to crash and fall very hard. As a matter of fact, we see the unraveling of the system right now. In a previous video, what I suggested to those who have money in the bank and you want to do something, you need to, first of all, make yourself a to-do list, something that you can look at and prioritize where you need to spend money, okay? The things that you know that you and your family are going to need in the coming weeks, months, and years. And that is where you want to focus your money. It used to be a time where saving money in the bank, what they call a nest egg, was a good idea. Okay. One thing that we've been realizing is that if there's something you need, whether you have a business or it's just your family or ministry or whatever, you need to go ahead and secure the things you need now. Trying to save for the future, I don't know if that's a good idea at this point. I think you need to start buying the things that you need now, even if that means investing in your business to grow your income, okay? The reason I say this, a lot of things that we need, we are starting to see prices go up so high to where if you wait a few months or a year, something that you may have spent $50 for today just might be $150 next month or next year. So that's why I'm saying go ahead and secure the things you need now. Take your money out of the bank. Letting your money sit in the bank now is just useless at this point. The banks are struggling. The whole system, not just the financial system, but the system in general is struggling, okay? And it is unraveling. And with that in mind, it is time to make some power moves, okay? If you're not sure what those power moves are, there are a lot of people on YouTube right now who teach financial strategy and things of that nature. What I'm talking to you about is securing needs, okay? Things that you know that you're going to need. They have been announcing shortages on so many things. And if there are shortages on these things, and there are going to continue to be shortages on these things, then you may want to consider stocking up while you can. Okay, because these shortages only mean that down the line, some of these things that we need are only going to increase in cost. That's what we're going to see happen. There's a particular item that we bought last year. It's something that we need. It's an item that we need. And I bought a few of them because I said, you know what, we better stock up and save some. And the item cost $30. This year, the item that we paid $30 for, we actually bought 10 of them last year. Okay. That item is now between $54 and $60, depending on which supplier you get it from. I believe one supplier even went as high as $65. So that item has pretty much doubled. We paid $30 last year, and that item is now between $54 and $65. Now, that's since I last checked about a month ago. I don't know what it is now. It could be even higher than that. And so, if you really pay attention to what's happening, you will understand why I'm saying it's time to take your money out of the bank now. Because one thing that happens when the system fails is people make a run on the bank. And you don't want to get to the point, in some countries, they actually limit what you can take from the bank. There was one article that was actually talking about them telling you that you can only get, I think, $250, regardless to how much money you have in the bank. You can only take out $250. And I said to myself, so if you have tens of thousands of dollars in the bank or millions of dollars in the bank, and they put some type of restraint on your account, I mean, what does that do for you if you have a serious need? And so I think it's better to remove your money from the bank and go ahead and start buying the things that you need, because the nest egg is for what? It's for things you think you're going to need in the future, right? So instead of letting that money just sit there, of course you leave your bill money in there. If you have bills that need to be paid, go ahead and leave that in there. But I'm talking about overage. Any overage that you have that is not attached to a bill that needs to be paid, get that money out of there. It's doing you no good sitting in the bank. You would do better to invest your money in some type of small business before you let it just sit in the bank. You would also do good to go ahead and secure future purchases, things that you were waiting on. Don't wait. You don't want to wait. At this point, you do not want to wait. I don't care what it is. If you think you're going to need a supply of pencils or ink pens in the future, go ahead and get yourself extra at this point. There are certain things that we need that we constantly have to buy. We try to get those things more than what we need. Trash bags, things like that. Get more than what you need now, because the price of these things are going up, right? You see how gas prices are going up. We try to stay, because we have tractors and things that we use on the farm, and lawnmowers and things of that nature, and other farm equipment. We try to stay on top of keeping our containers filled so that we can run and operate these machines and equipment, right? Because even those prices are going through the roof. And as I stated in one of my previous videos, even when we have plans of going places, whether it's in state or out of state, we always make sure that we plan things ahead of time. Plan for the things that you need to take with you. Plan for the distance, the food, whatever. Okay? Even if you're doing local errands, stack that stuff up. Okay? Because money is literally slipping through our fingers because of inflation. Whether it's something that they've created or it's something that is actually happening. It doesn't matter. It's still slipping through your fingers, right? Gas prices, food prices, shortages on this. Shortages create higher prices because they're like, okay, we got to charge more because we don't have as much, right? And so, to me, it makes sense to take your money out of the bank and go ahead and start buying the things that you need. We have been telling people for years to buy seeds to grow food. Okay, that's one of the things that you definitely want to stack up on. Of course, in any growing season, save your own seeds as well. Save your own seeds, because seeds are going to be a commodity that's going to be priceless. Okay, imagine having food shortages that the world is looking at and facing, but you yourself have enough seeds to supply a whole community. Imagine that. I told y'all about the bell peppers. You see how most people just take that chunk of seeds out and just toss it in the trash. I feel strange doing that, y'all. I take that wad of seeds out and just flake it on off and do what we're going to do, because right now we have bell peppers growing. okay, in various areas on the farm here. We have bell peppers growing, but we also have more in the greenhouse that are in trays ready to be transplanted, because that's one of those things that you can plant in succession as well. Of course, you don't want the seeds to get too far gone because they do need a certain amount of time to grow. But we have extras growing in trays, right? And so this is the mindset you want to have. You want to have a mindset of thinking of the future. And of course, I like to say you have to include others in that as well. With what we grow on the farm, we don't look at it like it's just all ours. At some point, we want to make what we have available in more ways than one, not just through sending seeds out, but, you know, for those who like it, because one of the issues that we are finding is that a lot of people ain't into vegetables, y'all. We are really finding that out. They're not into it. When we were at our other ministry land, there was a guy who actually works at a place that's next to our land. And when we explained to him what we were doing, he said, "I'm not trying to be funny or anything." But he says, from my experience, black people ain't really into vegetables. And it just kind of tripped me out. They're not into gardens and growing food. And, you know, we just kind of said, okay, whatever. We weren't going to get into no argument with him about it. He was saying from his experience, and he just kind of, you know, said what he had to say. I said, well, we are, you know, we are. And he was trying to tell us about some program that is at a local business for people who do like to grow food. And so it just kind of made me think, because there is some truth to that. We know a lot of people, you know, not just black people, but white people as well. We know people in general who just aren't into vegetables. And so our thinking was this: they may not be into it now, but when things really get serious, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to change their minds. I have a feeling they're going to change their minds. So I think we just have to keep forging ahead, doing what we have to do, putting our money where it needs to go. Okay. And for me, I think securing your future in more ways than one is what you need to do. That's buying seeds, growing food. If you want to raise livestock, raise livestock. Another thing that we really encourage, and I see my brother doing this a lot, is bartering. I might do a separate video on bartering, because that's going to be something that is going to get a lot of people by as well. But because we know the system is failing, this is no time for us to sit back and chill. There's no time to sit back and kick up your feet. Okay, but it's time to forge ahead. It's time to fortify. It's time to rebuild relationships and do what it is you have to do. Sometimes you can get a little nervous looking at the future. Okay, you can get a little nervous looking at it, but the Most High has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So we don't want to be led by fear. We want to do all that we can. We want to help as many people as we can. That's the attitude that we must have. Right now, a lot of people are kind of like, whatever. You know, there was a post that we saw on Facebook Marketplace. It's a young man. He has land not too far from our other ministry land, and he was actually asking people in the area if they would be interested in starting or working with him on a community garden, okay, and growing food and having their own plot to do things. And out of curiosity, I responded just to see what was up and what his thoughts were and his ideas. He was a young man in his 20s too. And he said, it would be great if I can get help. Because I told him we are doing something similar, right? He said, it'd be great if I get help. But he said, no one is interested. He said, nobody in this area is interested. Now, this young man, he's a white male. Okay, he's a white young man. And so when the person said to me that he don't know any black people that are interested in growing food and eating vegetables and stuff like that. It's not just black people, it's people in general, right? Because the young man who has the land that he's trying to get this shared garden experience started, he's a young white male. And I could hear the discouragement. And I said to myself, this is really sad that people are that far removed from taking care of their own selves to where someone is offering you an opportunity to be a part of something and there are no takers. No one's interested. But I have a feeling that's all going to change when the system continues to spiral downward. A lot of people are going to get their eyes open. They are going to get their eyes open. But for now, what I'm saying to you all as an encouragement to you, is get your money out of the bank. Don't have no money sitting up in the bank that you don't need, because this system is failing. It's coming down, y'all. So you need to go ahead and start securing the things that you and your family need. Make a list of this stuff. Prioritize. And say, look, we need this. We're going to need that. We're going to need whatever it is you think you need. Go ahead and make that purchase now, because prices are only going up. I already gave y'all some examples, of things that are going up, and some things even we ourselves purchased last year that are now more than double. In some cases, just a little bit close to double and more than double in price. And so, that being said, get your money out of the bank fast. Go and start investing it in worthwhile things, or spending it on things that you and your family need. Get your money out of the bank. All right, y'all, I'm done with this video. Of course, leave your comments below. Remember, as always, to keep it tight and keep it right. But until next time, I'm out. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel, and also comment, share, like, and subscribe.